everybody. My name is Dio Morales, your host of the Gold Squadron podcast, and we're coming to you live from the 4th round of the Nova Open X-Wing World Qualifier. Today, I'm joined by my good friend,
Travis Johnson.
That's right.
Travis A. Johnson.
Johnson and Co. So we have Lee Holand versus apparently just Schaefermeyer. It's Hayden Schaefermeyer. I'll get that fixed here in a moment for y'all. Well, this is going to be a great match. Looking forward to seeing how this one ends up. One of the things that did happen, if you noticed, Hayden actually played earlier today and won a decided victory against our birthday boy Matt.
Aww.
But you know, he's been doing well. It's like, well, here's the time to prove it for real when you don't beat up on a kid. All right, so I'm not saying that I'm cheering for Lee Holand. What I'm saying is that if Hayden loses, I don't know if anybody's going to cry for him.
No,
that's what I'm saying.
And I think you did a good job picking these lists. This is a not only interesting list. I mean, everyone's at this point probably seen the triple arc Padme.
Yeah.
But I really like this Empire list. I think people maybe, and I do too, naturally, discount this Decimators a bit. But like,
for sure,
this is a rock solid because if you try and go to that Decimator, which is what you want to do, there's a lot of bomber jousting power there to punish you for doing it.
Yes.
And with a reinforced, Decimators don't die that quick. I mean, they'll die, don't get me wrong.
Eventually, it just takes a while.
Yeah, but there's a punishment. That's the key part with some of these weird pieces, is that if you have enough bifurcated or triple action power, like I want to go after Thin Scum, but then there's also Boba here, and I want to, like, what do I do? So very interested in this.
Natano saying, Rack is faded, is he cloaked? Sure. Would you prefer to have the score, like the one with the version with the score up there?
This is just as good just to keep an idea.
All right. So he's been decimated. Let's go ahead and open up the bets from the last turn. I forgot to do that.
So I know this is scramble.
Yep.
And while I like normally having that Anakin flanker, I'm a little concerned he will not be contributing in the combat next round. He will be scrambling.
Yep.
But you could have done that being a little more interior, and he places last, meaning he chose that corner even though he knew no one's there.
Right.
I'm not saying it's the end of the world, but I would have liked to have seen him line up between those two rocks there, because you can still do everything that you were trying to do, scramble and potentially at least pot shot, threaten, and go grab the middle one while keeping guns on target, because I don't really know the math of who wins this, but I know that there is a lot of jousting power about to happen.
Correct. Yeah, it puts you in a situation where you're not giving the Empire a free turn without being molested by Anakin.
Right.
All right. Well, let's go ahead. Let's break down this list here real quick. Who do you want to take?
I have played the Republic. I'm going to take... It's League. I'm going to take Empire.
Yeah, let's go.
And the reason is that I have played this Republic list a lot. I practice with Paul a lot. And while it is particularly good against the Han, any version, it actually is not as strong as it seems people in their heads when hitting other jousting blocks, other kinds of lists. 5T70 has a decent, if not slightly positive matchup, for instance. And I mean, triple bombers are kind of doing the same thing as any of those T70s would do.
Yep. Bring 3 guns.
Yeah.
All right, break it down.
Let's see here. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Now I know where I'm looking. I like the Laurier targeting computer, so when you're not being molested, you got a free target lock to queue up. Crack shot always there. He's very squirrely. He's a really good objective, what we call objective monkey. He can just go do the thing, but because of his squirreliness, he can always re-engage pretty easily.
I like the crack shot. When the monkey can do something, he can throw a wrench, right?
I think the star here is, and we'll get to it when we get to Rack, is the ruthlessness. So keep that in mind, and I think people really underestimate Ruthless. We've seen that leading up to last LVO, if I remember.
Yes.
Yeah, this earlier this year. God, time has no meaning. But the idea with these Empire lists is that you're really only going to be shooting a thing. And so when I see the thing that you're shooting, I can start making those hyper-accurate shots with the thing that you're not shooting.
Yep.
Because HP's a resource. There's no half points on this one. The only one you got to worry about is chance.
So spend it.
Spend it. Yeah, we have the Rhymer. This is a pretty stock Rhymer, right?
Yep.
We have well, not completely stock. I just realized it's seismic plus delayed. But the barrage rocket saturation salvo, I'm sure the seismics there have meaning in the sense it helps against the Han matchup a little bit.
Yep.
Won't be as useful here as weirdly as opposed to the bomblet. I mean, the bomblet's cheap for a reason. It's pretty good. But otherwise, the other thing people misunderstand, I don't think it'll be irrelevant here. Well, actually, it's always irrelevant, is the range 1 barrage rocket because of Rhymer, which gives you the saturation salvo.
Correct.
Even at range 1.
Yeah.
That is demonstrably different than just doing your regular. I mean, it's the same dice, but forcing your opponent to re-roll on defense is
huge.
massively different than just a regular old range 1 shot.
Yep.
Jonas, I mean, he's there for his ability. You got the bomblet, you got the barrage, you got the sat salvo, and he's just making these bombers even more accurate than they already were. Saves your bomb charges, your barrage rocket charges too, even when you have the bullseye. And finally, hopefully this doesn't hurt my crate bet, because I took that the regular custom Tomax would be the more popular one.
Right.
I have played against this internally a little bit with Jeremy. He's like, let's see what it's like.
Yeah.
This thing is actually sick. So you can rev up your super plasma torps, but plasma torps in this meta have been just money, right? So
lots of shields.
Hans, arcs, that's the big ones. T70s. Right? So he doesn't have the sat salvo, but it is a very accurate shot. So any of these low agility or 2 agility or less shots with shields, and there's just a lot of shields, it's just free damage. It just splashes in there and does a lot of good work. And the true grit is underestimated too, I think. That's the one. So end of activation, if you are not strained, you may gain a strain to remove one of your non-lock red tokens, meaning he can do weird stuff, as in do the red barrel roll, and then, hey, I'm not in any arcs.
Yeah, let's take the stress.
Yeah, because it depends. A lot of times you're thinking, I'm going to do the blue, and you're right. But just like Chopper on Han, sometimes you'd rather do something else.
Right.
This is the time that if you're not being punished, you get to do the something else. Maybe you only do it 2 times a tournament, but I bet when you do it, it's huge.
You could make it matter, yeah. Love that. And then last but not least, we have...
We'll unkill, we'll unhide.
Unkill Sharanu, yeah.
So here's the part I really like. So we have the ruthlessness. So again, he gets to see where they're shooting in a lot of games. So he goes, you're not killing this guy, I have free hit points. Then you have Vader. Vader Rack, always just a good combo, right? Just punishing you, having tokens is free damage. Rack doesn't really need the force as much because of his soft mod. Death Troopers, again, that's something I've always loved since the beginning of 2.0, and I think it's underutilized. I understand it's 2 crew. There's a reason it's arguably underutilized, because it's hard to utilize, but it's great. An Agile Gunner is just cheap gunner that you finally get to rotate as you need to.
Yeah.
So right here, I was going to
say,
say, I didn't really like the front back, but he just fixes it. He fixes it in post, literally, at the end of the turn. It's fine.
That's a fun way to say that. Fix it in post. Yeah.
So, I mean, just like right here, I would normally, if this was Han, I'd be like, what are you doing? Why is your front arc? But here, he's like, look, I know they're going to be in front of me now, and then you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to rotate it at the end of the turn. We're good. It's fine. Don't look at it.
Right.
Don't think too hard. And we have the reinforce.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the Agile Gunner on the Decimators, because I feel the weakness of the Decimator is its lack of action economy. So you have to try to save everywhere you can. And Agile Gunner
does that. It's honestly a general bow tie problem.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of wish Agile Gunner, there we go. We see the barrel roll. I see it happening. He's not in any arcs now. He gets the full no Padme restriction now. He barreled out of Padme's arc. Great. And again, just a full rev up. He can hit that arc for free, just this splash it, just kill those shields. And guess what? Selfless feels a lot worse if you have no shields to start, turns out.
That's just true.
So he only gets 1 agility against the fully modded. Where did he lock? I don't see it. No, I guess it's here, maybe. No one can see what I'm pointing.
Yeah.
The front arc there in the middle, I would have thought it might have been the back one, but maybe if he still has the arc and we can't really see it as well. And to the middle, great. He just gets to punish. Again, even with Selfless there, he's going to get more shields than he should. And again, look how far away Anakin is. Now, if Anakin does have the 5 straight next turn, but he's shooting a Decimator.
Yep.
Like, who cares? And look at Larir. Yes, he's losing a 3-die gun. That hurts. But he's going to go retake this thing. And no, the Republic will never have time to take this back.
That's right.
Scramble again.
No time.
Just no time. And again, if Anakin goes slow to see, hey, Lorier's going, hey, I'm going to take this.
Yes.
Right? They're doing the drive-by meme where they're looking at each other.
Yeah.
And if Anakin tries to actually go slow, he's not contributing anywhere else. And I'd rather take your 4-point out for my 3-pointer.
Yep.
Your 6 matters way more than mine. All right.
All right.
It's free. Just do it. All right.
Forgot about the box. Take a quick. So, not sure how much damage was done there.
I think none. I didn't.
Punished for not rolling in the box.
They already forgot.
Next one, single crit.
Easy, never in doubt. Remember, we call them born to mauled because it is maulding to shoot into these arcs.
Right.
The focus is only defensive. So it hurts to kill, like it feels bad to kill them, but they're not using all the spread. They're not network calculations. They're not doing it on offense.
Next shot coming in.
Hey, look.
Spend it for 3.
All right. Well, you can mauled one of the evades, and he still takes 3 on shields. Weird.
Nice. Just making sure he knows.
Yeah, who is that? Actually, was that, who's the middle? Is that blue?
Middle's oddball.
Okay, good. I was going to say, because if it's one of the ones with 3 shields, you don't even spend your focus there. You just eat it. But yeah. Hayden asking his opponent if he would like to not shoot with his rack.
4 hits. That's going to be 3 going into Jag.
Mm-hmm.
Shields are
It feels
down.
initially bad to split your fire, but it starts really compounding on these arcs. I mean, he's doing what he can, right? Like this, he would have loved to keep shooting into the middle, but you do what you got.
All right, here's Hayden. 3 hits coming in from that arc in the back. Single squiggle.
Is he going to eat it just so he can barrage rocket, or is he going to just take less damage? It's a non-obvious decision, especially when you got stress on the moment. He takes 2. He's choosing violence. He's like, here's a philosophical question. Let's say you believe you are the better jouster.
All right.
Do you go for that joust like he did here, aggressive spins, like not spinning on defense so you can do it on offense? Or, hey, I'm the better jouster. Time is on my side. I'm going to take less damage because over time I am the better damage dealer. And I don't know. It's just tossing that as a question.
Oh, well, here we go.
That's a lot of
2 crits, damage engine, structural damage.
I'm sure that won't come back up.
So we're pretty sure this is going into Major Rhymer. That's the front, the front one here.
The one that can still barrage rocket at range 1.
This is true. This is true. So that was. I'm sorry. What were the 2 crits again?
It was damaged engine, and I already forgot.
Reroll for the ability.
Structural.
Padme
stopping it. There you go.
So that was coming in from Captain Jonas.
We don't. Oh, there's the. So once again, it takes it down to 1. Well, do you spend? Again, each one of them has to do the math of and their own philosophy.
Right.
Do I spend defensively because I think over the time I'm going to make up for it, or do I not spend so I can keep going hard and try and remove something sooner than my opponent removes them?
That's an interesting question when you chose to line up from across from somebody.
Right, because that's I mean, in theory, whether they're consciously thinking about it or not, that's what they're pausing with their focus spins. I'm like, well, no, I really want to hit them hard.
But I want to save my health.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a race to who dies first.
Yep.
I'm betting it's Rhymer. But that doesn't mean that it's necessarily the worst thing in the world, because these arcs are taking damage.
Right, I'm pretty sure we have shields down on Oddball.
I was going to say, Oddball should be at least 3 shields down plus another damage, because the plasma took 1 off and then he took 2.
Right, but he starts with 4.
Right, but that's still 3 on the initial shot, and I think he took another one, but I can go check in a minute.
Yeah.
That's post reroll? Shame. Yep, there's definitely some amount of damage going into Oddball.
Has 3 to 4.
Would you like the selfless now? There it is. See, offensive spins. Did not spin on defense. that should kill whatever bomber it is. Yeah.
He's gone.
Just roll him till you like him.
Pretty sure it's Major Reimer.
And I don't think we have this.
Oh, no. He was shooting Jonas.
Oh, I know that it seems good, but like Jonas is probably the least important part after the game gets going, because Reimer has range 1 barrage rockets, Tomax is untouched, and can initiative kill things.
Jonas feels important in like the initial. Right. He's there to keep stay all together.
But there's nothing you can do about it, right?
Right.
You take your medicine and kill something else, and Jonas stops mattering after his buddies are gone.
All right, here comes the rear into Anakin.
Alternating angles are congruent. If I can shoot you, if you can shoot me, I can shoot you. Oh no. No. Oh no. Don't take a shot away from him. You should. If he doesn't have a shot, you should have called a judge on Anakin's shot. To be fair. That is Hatamoto Heaver, our marshal.
All right, so it looks like Laurier's not going to be getting a shot.
It is still, because there's no real parallels in the game, so it is very possible still that Anakin did have an arc and Laurier didn't. However, if it's that close, realistically, if Laurier didn't, it makes me question whether Anakin truly did.
Right.
Doesn't mean he didn't, but they're significantly less parallel than they thought they were.
Right, correct. We try to be very accurate with the template placement, but it is tough. I do find it interesting the people who like purposely set their ships at like that little funky angle. But I always, when I see it, I ask, like, is that on purpose? Because I definitely have had games where people put it at this angle and somehow it ends up 90 and 45 again. And I go,
it's to regale people with tales of 1.0. We definitely had someone that started near the board edge, thought he was straight, and he started careening off the board, and then somehow convinced the judge that, well, I'm clearly supposed to be parallel to the board. And his opponent kept calling, hey, so they let him put himself back on it's the bomber that came back on the board. I think it was the Corin that came back on the board, but still.
I think it was a Miranda. I think it was a K-Wing.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, I remember. I'll tell you after this game. I had an interesting interaction with that player, completely separate from that event.
A lot of people had an interesting interaction with that player. Me too.
Yeah, Nutano is calling out the snaggletooth, the snaggletooth formation. Our guy Joel Springle won the runner-up in one of our galactic championships. I think it was not 2023, but 2022. Had a bunch of ships and literally just put them at a bunch of random A-wing angles. It was crazy.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I liked it.
It was fun.
Anyone remember the back to dials finger 4 or whatever they called it? Their little A-wing. There's all pinwheels, all sorts of. But yeah, I remember the A-wings all scattershot.
Yeah.
I don't have a good way of phrasing it, but whatever. Pretty cool, actually. What do we got here? What do you think so he did not agile gunner?
He did not.
So no matter which one you do, agile or not, you are giving your opponent information. Granted, if he didn't have agile, his opponent would have had information anyway. So I don't want to make it sound bad. Now that we know it's front back, what do?
So the biggest weakness of the Decimator is the fact that it doesn't have boosts, right?
Like it's not Han.
It's not a Falcon,
right.
Exactly. So I wouldn't want to commit with a hard turn. So
I think we're seeing a hard turn.
You think so?
I think without the commitment, and I think he's going to threaten the range 1 shot into Anakin. I think that's wrong.
All right.
Or I think that's risky. Wrong is a strong term.
Right.
I think it's riskier than necessary. But I suspect we're seeing I'm trying to remember that. They got 3 white turns now. So it's 2 or 3. It's probably a 2. I don't think it really matters. He wants to keep good range on the arcs. His goal is to kill arcs.
Exactly.
Or Anakin just leave. I don't know.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I always get nervous when those arcs are front back and they turn away because it's really hard to get them back.
Well, that's
around.
my thing. If he turns into the board, which is what I suspect is happening, that decimator will become increasingly less relevant.
Correct.
Where I like the sideways turn, and like, I don't know if the one bank fits. Maybe it's a two bank, but like he can kind of like circle that rock with very little issue.
And here's Laurier. Clears a stress after the 2-turn. Probably going to go ahead and claim that objective.
Hey, don't not do it.
Hit the button.
In there. Hit the button. There you go.
There we go. We got it. All right, before I forget, let me go ahead and award the objective points.
5-1.
I always get distracted. So they had 1 each. So Hayden's at 5. They had destroyed the ship. Yeah, we got it. Yeah, because it was, Captain Jonas is dead. Got it. Somebody's doing a 5K.
It's the jousting block. You can 4K, I will 5K.
Reset.
Oh, yeah, well, I can do that too. Whatever, I do what I want. That's Reimer. Oh, Reimer had the seismics. So
yes.
This is a case where while he had teched a little harder towards Han, the bomblet would have potentially been,
damage here,
on average, 1 damage extra here. Possibly on multiple of these ships, depending on what they're doing. So it's a pick your poison.
That's right. I mean,
we don't know this list. Like you
don't plan for.
Maybe he knows. Hey, I got a Han problem, and I want to get every little tool I can.
Yep.
To help it, and that would be the seismic. Ooh, well, Wolf is going to have a good turn.
He's gonna, he's gonna get a range 1 shot
Wolf
to that decimator
upset.
almost no matter what. And he has a front shot, a back shot.
Here we go, right? So this is
ability.
almost, because he did not get rid of his stress into a strain, he's almost certainly doing a 2 bank or a 1 bank. Either way, Padme not only blocks it, stops, reroll. Actually, I'm going to be honest, it's not Barrage Rocket Tomac, so stopping the focus ability, he's going to be shooting a primary. It's all significantly less relevant.
True. And Hayden.
Yep, there it is. I didn't see which speed it was. I was looking away for a moment. But it is the turn into the board.
Yep.
At this point, Anakin either gets a free one with no reinforce, or he reinforces the back, which is probably realistic, right?
Yep.
Well, Anakin can malice. That's the thing that is concerning.
Like those crits, yep. They can pile up real quick.
Yeah. Crit magnets.
I mean, right now,
and
luckily, Anakin shoots first, and you have shields for now. For now.
Actually, that might clear. Remember, everyone, just for we have parallax, just like you, we have parallax error, so we don't have a top-down view. Therefore, the farther away it gets from the camera, the less inclined we are to know if that's actually a good angle or not.
Yep.
Impressive. Now, again, does not have the ability to do whatever barrage, but he can.
We'll find out right now if he's going to make it. I think a straight maneuver will.
I assumed he was doing like a 3-4 straight anyway.
All right, so it's close.
Hatamoto Heaver is saying he does not believe he's going to hit this rock, but that's what we are checking for. That's why there is a judge.
Drum roll
in here.
Easy. Plenty of room. We're fine.
And again, it's only a 3-die shot, but it's malice at will.
This is true. Now, here's a question. We have, he's sitting at range 1. He has the option to boost the barrel roll during the system phase. Is it time to arc dodge?
So normally I would say no, but there is Vader.
Right.
So if he doesn't take a green token here, he takes an auto damage on Anakin.
True.
And even if he takes a green token, he doesn't really have the green token.
It's just to avoid the damage.
It's a tax.
Yeah, that's the Vader tax.
And if he does arc dodge, then Wolf will lose his token or take a damage. I think you take the damage on Wolf, but it's still free.
Right.
And Rack doesn't need the realistically, mathematically, doesn't really need that force point. We are not playing stop wing. The arc must actually continue moving.
So did Hayden? Did he do?
He forgot to move. He forgot to move. Oh yeah, he hasn't done an action on.
But he's moved.
Let's make sure he doesn't forget that. You know, so playing Squadrons, you know how scary if there was an actual decimator there to be like facing it down? That would actually be like, after playing that game, it's like facing out the Star Destroyer. It's not as big, but still like facing it in, whoa, hey, what are you turning this way for? Whoa.
Don't do that. Did he do an action? I'm trying to go.
No. Anakin has not done an action. He's still thinking about it. And Anakin choosing to not be Vadered, but it's a choice in the sense that now Wolf gets Vadered.
Correct.
Granted, Wolf has a lot of health, so he can afford to take the damage.
Yep.
I could make my joke, you know, oh God, Anakin staring at that rock, but
yeah, he's got the
spoiler,
phase movement.
He's fine. And so this is, so it's not terrible. Looking at the end board position, you agile to the side and you can do like a bank maneuver and still threaten arcs, threaten Anakin. You're not going to hit him.
You start creating that fishbowl effect in the center. Velvet Buddha in the chat says, we yearn for far turrets. No, we don't. I don't. I'm good.
I'm a little sad that bow ties are as bad as they are.
All right, well, here we go with our first attack. Hit, crit.
Yep.
Spends the focus on defense.
All the shields already gone. I just saw all the shields flip down. That's Wolf, I think. I mean, I can go check.
It is.
Okay. All arcs look alike.
So do their pilots.
Oh, God, wow.
Canonically.
It's okay. They put it in a movie. All right, so we got the oddball. There's no focus on the board anymore. There is no Born to Mauled live anymore. So this is just some naked shots, which
hit crit
easy,
and
never in doubt.
Out of it. Jag will set up a lock here with his ability.
Jag basically the highest damage arc broadly. Wolf's going to do some real work here, obviously, but you don't always get these range 1 VTGs.
All right, let's see. He's got the reroll. Ability flips the charge. Oh, blank to blank.
2 damage.
I think he got 3.
Well, yeah, but reinforce. So still 1 shield up. That was under rack. That's the front one. Now he's going to do the VTG, reflip the charge, and have technically a modified, but a 4-die shot into the bomber.
I think he forgot about his reinforce. Okay, he fixed it.
There we go. And, ooh, he has a lock.
No focus out there, but still hit crit's pretty good.
Every crit is nervous. Easy. Skill issue.
And that was into Major Reimer.
And so it begins on Reimer. But again, Tomax being alive is an I-5 that can start initiative killing
the arcs. Yep.
It's 2 I-5s out there. So it feels bad. Like, right, we see all the arcs alive. We see our bomber already dead. We see bomber starting to take damage.
Yeah.
But the house of cards can collapse as these arcs
very
take
quickly.
Damage. Doesn't mean they will. It's just a thing. Can.
Gonna go at Wolf.
Yep, I mean, you're there.
And he whiffs.
Spoiler, you would have whiffed on any of them.
2 hits.
More on to Reimer. Hey!
4-hole.
So we have a structural on Reimer.
All right, we're back in the cleanup phase.
And I do not see a rotate, which makes me nervous. No agile gunner rotate. Because the hard turn does nothing?
Yeah, if you hard turn to
there
R.
it is. All right, he did not forget. We did not fully get out of the end phase.
That's true. They were counting it up.
Mark safe. Now I very much like the Decimator's broad positioning. Though a hard turn normally would have been good, you won't get your reinforce, so you kind of have to bank if you want to reinforce.
So that was 3 points there for Lee.
He owns all 3.
He owns all 3. He's got the yellow side up. Yellow, yellow, yellow. I mean, he closed the gap there. It was 5-1.
Those scramble points really can add up when you tap your opponent, because it's a delta, right?
Yeah.
Unlike salvage, where you're both one scoring 2, the other scoring 1, and it's like only 1 point. This is just 3 per turn for free.
It's a timer,
and it requires your opponent to do something. And those arcs want to see focuses. They need focuses to help each other.
I want to remind you that today our stream, this whole weekend, brought to you by our amazing patrons. Without you, we would not be able to be traveling around the United States bringing you X-Wing content. Thank you to everybody who has supported our work. And, of course, shout out to the Nova Open for providing internet and space and a hotel room. They were able to comp part of the cost, help us out with that a little bit. So just shout out to them for helping make this possible as well. And if you've never been to the Nova Open, I highly recommend.
It's pretty cool. And I know, so all the suburbanites were complaining about it being in D.C. It's great that it's in D.C. It's a nicer space, in my opinion. If you've gone downstairs, the 40K area, that big room with the statues, it looks really cool. I'm not a 40K person, but I like their miniatures. I like the
you can appreciate that. It's just like, that looks sweet.
That looks sweet.
Same. A good buddy of mine does a lot of different miniatures, paintings, and I just admire his stuff. And I said, I'll never play these games. I'm not interested.
That reminds me of our friend Dole, who is I mean, it's a hobby game. I'm not a painter. I'm not really interested in painting. I'm not very creative. But when you get into it, it's its own thing. So even if you don't get to play, so like for me, I get to play X-Wing at most, usually once a month in person. Usually it's every few months. But if you're a hobby painter, like, you're still kind of invested. You're just painting your miniatures, thinking about the game, doing your thing, painting, and just imagining playing the game. I'm just saying, it keeps you hooked. Legion did very well during COVID.
That's true.
And it's a hobby game. You get to paint, and you're sitting here thinking, well, when this army does hit the table,
that's going to be great. Hopefully. Yeah, it's interesting. Tell a little story here. Last weekend, I took my daughter to the game store to pick up starter decks for Lorcana. And while we were there, she saw the Shatterpoint boxes. And the art for Shatterpoint is pretty cool. Like, I really like it. It's not the photorealistic style. It's almost very similar to the original Clone Wars movie. It's kind of that style.
Almost anime. It's not, I wouldn't say, but like
exactly. Almost anime is a great description. And she immediately went to the box and she went, "Poppy, look, Star Wars. do you want to get some of these?" She was very excited that maybe we were going to get some. And I said, "No, honey, they're really cool, but you have to actually build them and paint them." She goes, "What?" She goes, "They send you the toys broken?"
She has the correct. As someone who got into X-Wing because it was pre-painted, I agree with her.
Yeah, exactly.
Good eye.
I told her, I said, "Well, it's not broken. It's like some people really enjoy that."
It's broken.
And then she asked me, she goes, "Poppy, can I say a bad word?" And I look at her and I go, "Yes." And she goes, "That's stupid." And we laughed. We laughed about it.
Yes.
Yeah, we laughed about it. Got our cards, went home, played. It was super fun. But it was.
How was Lorcana?
We loved it. She had a great.
I want to play. What is it, Villainous?
I haven't had a chance to play that.
Me neither, but it looks really fun, and my son's getting into that age where like he can identify with the stuff.
Yeah, there's. She was so hyped. She won with her Moana and Wizard Mickey deck.
Nice.
And that's the thing. Like, it's a easy enough concept of a game that like she was picking it up and actually like thinking about strategy in the game, because you're like not. You're in a race with each other, but not fighting each other. It's an interesting.
Can you disrupt each other?
You can.
Okay, so that's how you disrupt. You disrupt one another.
Yes.
Or you try and
gatekeep. Yeah, exactly. It's
base race. That's what I was looking for. All right, yeah, I figured. I mean, Laurier doesn't have a lot of places to go. It does tell me a little bit. I thought maybe. Oh yeah, never mind. I forgot he had rotated his arc. The Decimator can just do a one bank.
Yep.
It's fine.
Easy.
Never in doubt. And now he's completely unmolested. So all the damage you have done into the Decimator only pays off later. And remember, he can start initiative killing everyone but Oddmaw. And Anakin, of course. But I'm thinking about the arcs, which is really the source of damage in that list.
So I just saw there was an arc check from one of the... was it the arc to... Why would there be a range check? I'm just...
Target lock?
Could have been.
It's stressed, so I don't know. I missed it too. I was looking off to the side.
The game I was talking about is a new card game called Lorcana, a Disney Lorcana, Lorcana. And my family loves it. So
apparently people like it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just a card game based off all the Disney properties.
Exactly.
Death Troopers.
I was like,
Death Troopers, and that's why it's still stressed. I bet he's like, I'll do a blue and clear. Let me tell you a story, my people. No, you will not. Everyone forgets the Death Troopers. I already did. Again, I like seeing that upgrade come back. I like
good.
seeing it come back. There's a lot of things that stress themselves, a lot of reasons to be stressed. And boy, when you're expecting to get those, so look, he was expecting to be able to focus there.
Not so
much. Not today, son.
And that disrupts not only offense, but potential defense too.
If this
because of
wolf
for this.
comes in and plows in, I'd like to take the stressful focus. Okay, go ahead.
Sure.
By all means. Proceed, Governor.
There's the focus. There's the stress. He's locked in now, essentially. They're talking to each other.
No one believes in themselves.
Both players think that they're losing is essentially the table talk right now.
It's one of those things. Well, you're up 5-4. And it's like, do you feel in control?
Yeah, he says that as he has 3 points for the objective this turn.
It feels bad. You're losing them, right? And these arcs still feel like they have a lot of hit points, but they will start collapsing as well as your 3 points a turn. I'm not saying it's a done deal or anything, but it's man, there's a lot of pressure.
Looks like they're confirming token placements.
Lock. The oddest ball.
Looks like he's going to be colliding with the Purple Bomber, Major Rhymer.
So Rhymer is really not completely safe, but he only has a range 0 coming in and the Wolf shot coming back out. Wolf cannot use his token on the front arc. Well, no, that's not true. I forgot. The Desi hasn't moved yet, so he will be able to do, the double tap with his cool charge. But we'll see if that focus stays there, because there's a lot of damage coming too. Yep. Oh, he did do the full turn here. I don't like that. I mean, I do, in the sense I like where the arc is pointed. but it means he will not be reinforcing. That said, he now only has one real shot coming in on him unless we see the purple talon. Which he might actually see in the rotated turret. It's a free purple
shot.
talon. I wasn't really thinking about what Anakin would do, but it's a really, really free purple talon now.
Oh, he has Dauntless, so he can still, he can still get it.
Man, I am really out of sorts with these. Yeah, do what you want, man.
I think the bigger problem is that now, what's that dial like on a decimator? Is he going to be able to relieve the stress next turn and still have an action? At least do it easily.
Yeah.
One bank, that one bank should be able to fit
the one
in there.
bank should fine.
As long as Anakin's not in the way. I guess even if he is, he just Dauntless again. Doesn't matter. As long as you don't end up on the rock.
This thing has baffle? Man, this is look how just deep bench of good upgrades. So interestingly, this is one of those situations where people are like, well, reinforce, he only has one shot coming in, not the big a deal. He wants to reinforce for Rack's ability.
Yeah, it gives you two things.
Wolf will be shooting, it will mitigate at least one damage, but also you get the soft focus, and he allows him to still use Vader on offense, which shields down on Wolf. Feels bad, man. Or it's 0-2. He can just go hit Oddball from here.
I agree.
That better be a Talon.
It
Negative
is
Ghost
not.
Rider.
Hard turn and sitting in the arc at range 2 of Rack. But also, it looks like he might be coming in to take care of Major Reimer. He's probably sitting in the bullseye now.
Oh, yeah. All right. Salutes in chat for Reimer. Now, the question is, I haven't really looked at the damage in just a moment, but yeah, there's a Vader happening. It's a upon whom? There it is. Yeah, Wolf, because of the potential for initiative kill. Goodbye, Born to Maul, to get out of here. Now Wolf has just naked Wolf shots. He gets to do his Wolfy thing, but he doesn't get to do it with a lot of, like, at least even one mod.
All right, here we go. Anakin, range 2 to Reimer. That looks pretty good. Spending for hit crit on the Malice.
Yikes.
And that's gonna
just 2 crits. Just two. Casual 2 crits between friends. Direct
hit. That's a bonus card.
Fuel leak. Oh, now
blank.
In the correct order for the Imperial player.
Right.
Real bad if you had that chain of crits in reverse. Oof. Oh, I got 4 health. What could go? Oh, no.
Oh, God. Have you ever had that happen to you?
Yes.
It feels terrible.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I thought I was going to be here for at least another turn. See ya.
I had plans.
All right, this is the odd ball shot. I guess if he's touching a die, then it's into Tomax. Oh, no. Tomax is firing first. Yeah. So Padme is active. Yeah, so it's a blank, so he's fine. But if he goes into a focus from there, then he can only mod 1.
Right.
I'm pretty sure the math says just re-roll the target lock and hope you don't get a focus. 50% of the time it works every time. Don't touch.
Ooh,
whatever, man. Do what you want.
Dude, it worked out.
Boom.
And took 2 damage there.
I see the chat. Do you waste the proton torp here? No. Yes. It is not a waste. Just secure your kills. If Oddball, especially you're going to see the information if Oddball whiffs here.
Right.
Or not.
Ooh.
Okay.
Hit, crit, direct hit. That's going to go ahead.
I, too, can direct hit.
Clear that ship off the board.
Hey, you know when I was talking about Wolf doing his things?
Yeah.
No.
In fact.
But this is where this is what I mean. The initiative kills can start coming in. Tomax is there. Even his primaries start mattering all the time.
Oh, yeah. Especially against 1 agility.
1 crit. Got him. So, yep, there we go. Now it's definitely not a waste of proton because it gets to go into Tomax.
All right, so we got Jag and Oddball left on the board now.
Yeah, what happened to Padme shooting? Shouldn't Padme shoot something?
Shooter!
Should I go ask? Is that a thing we should do?
Because we passed initiative. We should initiative 4.
Yeah, but Larier's shooting. I heard them say Larier was activating. So that's what I meant. Like,
maybe there might have been a very quick whiff.
It could have been.
Yeah.
I mean, that stuff happens.
Yeah.
Not Hatamoto-san, a lowly peasant. Brunis was also here.
That's why I was like, thank you for coming. Oh, yeah, she's just gonna be.
So Padme was missed.
Yeah.
They're figuring out what to do because they are going to do some level of rollback. They're figuring out how to fix it and how far back to roll back if they have to undo shots, is what we're waiting on. No, we're listening in.
They're double checking to see if it matters for any like token expenditures.
Yeah, but activating is not optional. So basically, so I see that yes, attacking is optional, but the way it's being ruled here is that activating isn't, and they need to go back.
Yeah.
They have the ability to roll back with minimal issues, and therefore they will activate, and the opponent will not choose to avoid shooting.
Right.
That's the way it's going on here. It's the amount of rollback necessary to make that happen. At some point, you do just move on with a missed opportunity, but there was minimal shots after, so they're actually going, they're still talking, by the way.
Yeah.
They're still trying to figure out what can happen here, what's going to happen. So there's some sort of attack happening.
Yeah, and they're saving the dice on the other side. Yep. It didn't end up doing anything.
Okay.
But they kept the dice from the thing that they had just finished rolling.
Yep.
And then
direct hit.
We end up going to the direct hit for the other shot, going into the last bomber, Tomax, who's got 3 damage on him now.
So that definitely matters.
Yep. So we'll get an update on the score here. Yeah.
So I see the chat talking back and forth. I can't speak to what exactly happened at Worlds, but I believe the chatter that it did happen that way. To some extent, what the judges, since many of the judges are actually 2 of the world judges
the same
are here,
ones, yeah,
is the amount of having to roll back to make that shot happen. If it's too much, it can functionally be a missed opportunity, but to the extent that it is not incredibly burdensome to roll back, the idea is that the ship must activate, then the opponent can randomly choose not to shoot, but they won't. So in this case, it was not too much trouble to roll back. They allowed the shot to happen. Hold on, I have the judge tell me.
The shot was allowed to happen. Jag was not allowed to take a target lock if it was an opportunity.
Okay, and then because what happened here is if that shot, with that shot, Jag would not be retroactively granted his target lock from the ability because that now is a missed opportunity. I had that clarification from one of the judges here.
There you go.
So just giving a context of what was going on there, the discussion, why it took a little bit of time. But yeah, that's the generalized principle. And I know some of these judges, so I think that both of those was probably true. Both worlds happened that way, and that's why it's happening this way. Even with the same judges, I don't think they changed their mind. I think when it was caught potentially with that missed tag, they're like, we just can't roll all that.
Right.
It's too hard to unwind. Well, again, I don't have the full context for what happened at Worlds. It is possible they changed their mind. I don't know. It could be like, hey, you know what? We saw what that. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. So at this point, we have a score of 11-8. Lee Holand has officially reached the high ground. People like to talk about it. That 11-point historical spot in the scoring. It used to be, what,
the 9 rounds. Now we have the 11 points. First to 11.
First to 11
has
usually
an advantage.
wins.
In football terms, he has the momentum.
Yes, he's got the momentum in the game. But as we know from every football announcer that has had this game where the momentum shifts, there is a chance.
Any given Sunday.
That's right.
Any given Sunday. Well, you see what Lee's trying to do here is he's trying to score more points before time than his opponent does.
This
or
is true.
Sometimes you can reach 20, get to that goal line,
right?
Push it all the way in. You just win the game right there.
Right there.
Take a knee.
just take a knee. Done. Petey Bumbo say Rack better do a blue. Should be stressed from
Yes,
Dauntless.
he does need a blue.
It might be on the
baffle.
He baffled it?
I didn't see him baffle it, but he could have, and that might be why he has no stress.
This is true.
Because now, I mean, he is a little behind, so like he can use his health as a resource. Do we really have no games completed yet? I was just checking what's going on in the round. Oh, it just hasn't loaded.
So they're deep in thought. I'm going to go double check our health.
Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick. I'll be right back.
Trying to get an update of what is going. Yeah, it looks like basically none of the games have completed. Internet's a little spotty down here. We're in a little bit of a bunker. Hi, Chumbalaya. I know there's a delay, so I apologize. I'm seeing you from the past. What do we got? We got all hits. I see a focus. Get good. I was going to say, I guess road still matters. There's two I-5, one I-5 on one side, two I-5s on the other. There's two I-3 still on the board. So, yeah. We got Squirrely Bomb Drop. Those are ions, right? On the new one? Yep. Still relevant.
All right. I have the update. Tomax at 3. Only 2 shields down on Rack.
Yeah. Health for days.
Health for days.
At some point, it's going to be the only one that can threaten Rack is Anakin.
Right. Jag has 1 card on him. And what's the other? Oddball has 3 cards on him, which brings him down to 3.
Squirrely Lareer here.
Everything else clean.
That can block up things. Spending one of the charges to make this blue. Will bump. Man, I really like Lareer. I'm glad if they were. I'm not sure that interceptors are worth more than 3. Some of these, but at least the one they decided to make correctly priced is the fun one.
Yes,
like the cool one.
I feel pretty sure I saw some stuff in like the Squadron's like animated sections where interceptors were kind of like Tokyo drifting out there.
I mean, in Squadrons, you quite literally Tokyo drift. It's great. That's where you get your Kyo from. Kyo is from the game, and that's why there's the side slipping. They are the person that teaches you how to drift in the game, in the single-player campaign. They're the ones that unlock and teach you, Kyo, what drifting is.
Right.
Anyway, there's your lore background of why Kyo does the weird side slips. It's representing the Squadron's drifting.
I'm terrible at it.
I mean, we all are.
We all are.
Except, Brunus was there. Only one of us was a professional at this place. It wasn't me. Fun game.
Yeah.
Well, fun game until you hit people that are way better than you. Not fun.
This is very true.
Equally rough parts.
Yeah.
We should organize like a Squadrons night amongst like friends, and if there's any good people, we'll split them apart and just like do our thing.
You go over there. You go over there. Stop it.
Brunus can watch.
He can be the judge by judging us.
Yep. I don't know where that stress went. All I know is that there's no stress now, and both opponents agree there's no stress, so this is another Dauntless. I mean, I agree with you, Bitty Bumbo. I'm just saying they think there's no stress there for whatever the reason is, and if they both think that, and we're not going to roll the tape back, there's no stress, and there's going to be another Dauntless. So we miss something or they miss something, but I don't know which one it is.
Pure pasty order.
Huh?
Pure pasty order. What do you want?
Not.
Is it? Are we talking tacos again? Because I'm with you, by the way.
Pasties.
Oh, pasties, yeah.
Pasties.
I'm not a big fan either. Don't tell anyone I said that. Because they love them here. But
This is true.
by the way, throwback. I agree with you on the tacos. I want steak tacos. I don't
Yes.
want ground beef. I mean,
Correct.
I don't
If you were
dislike
here,
ground
this was
beef
yesterday's
tacos,
broadcast, by the way.
but if I hear steak, it better not be ground beef.
Correct.
Yes, they're both beef, but they are not the same
They're
thing.
very different.
If someone brought me out a hamburger patty when I ordered filet mignon, I'd be very upset.
All right. Let me go to double check on something. Be right back. We were muted for that whole conversation.
Ha! Well.
Take two.
Anyway, Dion went up and asked the judges about checking on the Dauntless thing. I don't know where that ended. And then I thought Anakin was going to do a one turn, and I got surprised.
Yeah.
So
It's just
The end.
that's a short version.
there's a lot of stuff in there. It's some of the Emmy-winning stuff, but lost to the annals of time.
Here we go.
Malice.
Hit, crit.
Yikes. There's. All
Nice. Got two.
right, well, it's still a crit, but could be fuel leak.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's relevant. 2 health. Yikes. Okay, they forgot who was first player, so
All right. It's taking a second.
it's Rackin time, or maybe it's Tomaxin time. I'm not sure yet. Yes, Anakin is in a position to R2-D2 damage or remove damage back. That's true.
Nice. That's a nice
But
feature.
at this point, because of the pressure of what's happening here, that means you're kind of giving up really hurting Rack.
Yes.
And I don't know if that matters yet. We're going to see where the points land, but Hayden is behind and does need to kill things.
And here he goes. First.
It's Rackin time. Oh, that's going to only be
He's gonna
Ruthless. Yeah,
That's
Ruthless
dirty.
for Tomax.
Makes it 2.
Get in there. Uh-oh.
So he's got options. I think Lee's starting to feel the clock. And
He's saying, can I selfless it? But there's no crit unless I'm missing something. Nope. Goodbye. Oh, man. Now. There is a judge at the table, by the way. So now there's a judge actively watching.
So that
the table
means, did
nearby.
that just kill Anakin?
Yes.
Yeah.
The self-bump damage plus the 2 that just came in thanks to Ruthless.
15
Big
to
yikes.
8.
That's Tomax. It's Tomax in time. There was an attempt. All right.
Blank out.
Oh, yeah. So now, like I said before, he's just assumed, hey, one on the oddball.
He
and he's like, no. And because with shields down, oddball feels every single one. He's a lot less selfless.
Yeah.
It's easy it's like being a gentleman. It's easy to be selfless when you have shields, but when you have to give up, like, oh, I'm getting off the bus anyway. Let me, hey, my lady, please take the seat. But it's different when you got to stand there the whole time.
This is very true. It was a crit. They said the crit. Do you remember what it was?
I think it's another fuel leak.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I think this. So the inevitable weight of those scrambles have now really come home to roost. I don't think Anakin is likely to die there. That said, when you're that far behind, those little swings and variants where it may not have been as bad before are significantly worse now.
Yes.
Because, again, it's the delta effect of scramble. It wouldn't be 15 to 8. It would be like 12 to 13.
Yep.
Right.
And Lee's going to be getting 2 more this turn. Right. 2 to 1.
Oh, calmly pointing out, and that is true. I didn't think of that. He could have taken the deplete right away. The R2, the Republic R2, is during activation. It's not before you reveal, before you move. He could have removed that damage by taking a deplete. He would be alive now had he chosen to do that. But I think he wanted the range 1 bullseye for 4 dice in the Tomax and didn't seal the deal. And this is where we're going back to what is the thing you need. And to be fair here, I think Hayden may have been right. He needs to kill something. He needs to get back in this game. But yes, you are right. But the timing is such that you would have done it by the bump, and then you can choose to do your red focus, whatever, as well as choose before you're done activating R2-D2.
And right there, that's actually gonna be the game right there. We just took an arc off, +2 for the
and the House of Cards falls apart.
Yep.
That's the key to the arcs, the arc list. It's a good list. I am really impressed with this Imperial list.
Yeah. All right, so they're writing everything down and finalize it. So we're going to go ahead and call it right there. Congratulations, Lee Holand. He'll get 2 points at the end of the round. 1 to Hayden with a final score of 21 to 9. Thank you to ISO, Danko, Baffle, Trojan, Prophet, Shadow, Tycho, Spice, Raider, Lancer, Fallen, Row 6, 626, Chief, and J List, our Grand Admiral patrons. And all of our Gold Squadron patrons and community members, thank you for your support. Gold Squadron out.